Hello everyone. So in this tutorial video I'm going to go over what we did in our last session. Uh, so the first thing is I created a new document. As you can see, it's an A4 size and the resolution is 300. Now we'll go into the layer section here on the right side of the screen. And if you see this lock icon, the first thing that we need to do is actually turn this background into a layer. So just by double clicking, you'll get this box opening up saying that what you want to name the layer, and we are just going to name it background. Okay, now as you noticed, the lock icon went away. So the first thing that we do if we want to create a poster is to basically define the background. So if we have any form of image or any visuals that we want to add, we can add it now. But for this purpose, we're just going to add a new color to it. Now here in this section, we can see the color boxes. By double clicking this, the color picker box opens and we can basically select any color that we want by scrolling the mouse onto the color bar. And if we want to go and select a color from the grayscale or the bright scale in this color box, we can just click and you can see the new color in these boxes here. So for this example, I'm just going to use a yellow color. Just going to see which one. Okay, this one works. And then as we click OK, we can see that the color box changes to the color that we chose. Now, we'll select the paint bucket, which is this icon here that looks like a paint bucket from the toolbar on the left. So as we click that and we click into our canvas, the whole selected area is going to, the paint is going to cover it. So now we're going to click this, the first tool in our toolbar, which is the move tool. So about the move tool, try to have that selected if you're not doing anything with the other tools, just because the move tool is kind of like the select tool, so that it's a default. So we're going to have that selected anytime we're not going to use any other section here. Now, just to cover a few of the sections that we had in our first session, this section is the history bar. So anything that we do is going to be recorded here, and we can basically use this section to do or undo any changes to our document. And the bottom section is our character section, so we can work with the text, any font, the sizes, and the other sections that it has. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add a text to our document. So we're going to go on the left side in our toolbar and we're going to choose the T icon, which is for the text. So as we click on it, we can see that the icon changes, and by clicking onto the canvas, we have a highlighted section open. Now, because the text tool is automatically default color as the same as the background, once we write anything here, it's not going to show us because it's the same color. So we're going to select this box up here in the top bar menu, and we're going to change that color to, we're going to change it to black for now. So now you can see that the text appears. I'm going to click OK, and we're just going to change this the text. So I'm just going to write typography. Oh, I missed a P there. Typography. Okay. Now, if you look in the right side where the layer section is, we can see that a new layer has been created, and we see the T icon, which is the text icon, uh, in front of the layer section. So just to go over something, the layer section is in the order of appearance. So any new layer that we create is going to go on top of this list. Now, I'm just going to hold and drag the text layer and bring it under the background layer that we have. So you can see that the text layer disappears because it's under the background layer. So when we change the order of the layers, we can basically have them showed on the screen, or we can move them under another layer. I just did this quick example to show you how this works. So by dragging any layer in the layer section, you can change the order of appearance. Now, I'm going to, so you, if you notice, I switched into the move tool, the first tool in our toolbar, just because I'm not going to use any other tool. So when I have that selected, I can go on to the text that we wrote, and I'm going to double click. And when it highlights, I'm going to change the size of this text. So let's go with 72, see how that looks. Okay, so now we have a very large. Now, in the top bar, we can select whether we want this text to be italic, bold, bold italic, or just regular. So this font, which is the MyRead Pro, it has it in different different versions. So the bold will make the text a little bit bolder. Now, in this section, we can change the font. So right now, the font that I've used is MyRead Pro. Now, another thing is that the bar that you see up here, whenever you highlight a text, whenever you have a text selected, is the same as what we have here in the character section, except with the character section, you have more options to work with the text. Okay, so now we're just going to change the font here. I'm going to go open the font list, and I'm going to use Futura. So when I choose that font, the font changes, and if I open this section up next to the font section, I can see that this font is available in medium, italic, medium, condensed, and condensed medium. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at bold. Now, I'm going to switch to the Move tool. So the first tool on top of all the other tools in our toolbar in the left. As I choose that, I can come on to the text, and by clicking on one of the letters, I can basically move this layer around in my page. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Now, with the eye, I'm just going to try to see if it's centered or not. So that's one way to do it. Another way is to use the rulers. So if you notice the ruler on the top section and the left side of my page. Now, if you don't have access to this, you have to go to the view on top of your page. So where there is the file, the edit, image, layer, there's a view icon button where you click. The option opens and you have rulers here. So mine has a tick. That means the rulers are shown in my screen. So view and rulers. Now I'm going to use the left ruler, and I'm going to bring it in, and I'm just going to place it there to see where the center is. I'm going to bring another one here. Now we can use the top ruler to kind of align different elements in the screen. So if you want to have a specific space between text or images, you can use this. For example, if I leave that under there, I can use the next ruler to kind of have define the space between the next text that I want to place. But for now, I'm not going to use that. So I'm just going to look at this and see how it's placed. So we can see that the Y has a little bit, it's a little bit further to the right than the T is. So by clicking, so remember I have the move tool selected from the toolbar. So I'm going to click onto the text layer, and with the arrow keys on my keyboard, I'm going to move the text to the left. You can see that the text is moving, and just with the eye, so I'm not being too precise, but if you have a design that you need to be precisely have it aligned, uh, you probably want to zoom in using the magnifying icon, which is on the left side in the toolbar. The bottom icon is the magnifying, the zoom tool. And by clicking it, so on the top of the screen, you'll have a minus and a positive sign. So either one of them zooms in and the other one zooms out. So we're going to use the positive magnifying icon, and that will zoom into our canvas, and we can just basically use this to zoom into the canvas and align elements, text, or work on the details. But since I only have a text, then this should be good. Now I'm going to zoom back. Okay. Now I can kind of feel that the amount of letters which are passing the rulers are kind of the same. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for now. I'm going to drag the rulers out of the canvas. Okay, so we have just created the first text, and it's that easy. Now let's have another text in our screen. I'm going to go into the toolbar, and I'm going to click the T icon, the text, and as I click into the canvas, now notice that don't click near your previous layer of text, because it's just going to add a text to the same layer. We want to create a different layer. So click away somewhere here, and you will have a new text layer highlighted. And if we go into the layer section, we can see that a new layer has been selected. Now, try to rename all the layers that you create just to stay organized. With the text layers, they will automatically be named from the text that you type in. The other layers, such as background or shape layers, they won't be named. You have to rename them. So they'll just be like layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. But since I have a text layer, then I know that this is going to be named when I type in a text. So I'm just going to write in a word. Let's go with creative. So I'm going to write creative is art. And I'm going to go and select the move tool. So that's again the first tool in our toolbar. And I'm going to double click, highlight. Now I want this to be, and I'm going to try to see what it looks if I change it to a medium format. Okay, now let's see how the condensed medium looks. Okay, so now that we see that it's more condensed. Let's try, actually, I'm going to try another font. Okay, so sometimes you get these messages. Alright, let's try some other fonts. I'm going to see, I need a thin font, something that's, okay, so Montessori has all these different formats for my font. Now, if I choose the light, okay, there we go. So this is kind of what I was looking for. Let's see what thin looks like. This is even better. Okay, now I'm going to double click this again, and I'm going to change the size to 48. See how that looks? Okay, I like it. Now I'm going to bring that, and I'm going to place it right under creative. Now, with the ruler, remember, I said that you can align text. So I'm just going to bring this right before the T, and I know that the creative is art text has to be aligned with this ruler. So with selecting